Okay, welcome y'all. I guess the music went on just a little bit longer than I had anticipated. I apologize for that. Come on in, come on in. I'm trying to adjust this camera. This camera, I don't know what it is because it looks like it's kind of crooked. I don't know. From my end, it looks like it's crooked, and I'm trying to. I know y'all saying, "What the hell is she doing?" I am trying to get this camera. The camera doesn't look right for me. I don't know why. I'm trying to adjust it to make it. Got people trying to help me to this camera look kind of okay because right now it looks kind of crooked. But okay, anyway, as long as you guys can see me, I guess that would be okay. Anyway, welcome, 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 welcome. If you are new to the channel, then I got to continue to say welcome. And if you are a returning person, then I got to also say welcome back. Today has been another full day. We have been preparing on the back end. I have been working due diligently with I said some, I didn't say all. I have been working due diligently with some of Grandmaster Jay's supporters on the back end on a project that they are working on that I'm not going to give any details to because anybody that was truly interested in learning what is going on behind the scenes would have been there. We have done two full days to be exact, of the People's Court. And the evidence that we have compiled in reference to evidence that was not presented in reference to Grandmaster Jay's case. They have been working, these people have been working due diligently on behind the scenes, the ones that have shown that they are true supporters of Grandmaster Jay, or also betterly known as John Fitzgerald Johnson. We have been together. I'm saying the supporters, not Jay. So please don't confuse my words. I know it's been a long day. I've been with them all day today since what, 9 o'clock? I believe it was 9 o'clock this morning. And we adjourned. We pretty much wrapped it up, tied it up a little bit early. I think it was around 3:30 because normally we would have gotten out of the People's Court around, I guess, 4:45 or 4:15. But anyway, it was another successful day. And if you wasn't there, it's shame on you. That's all I'm going to say is shame on you. We're going to get into a little bit of the gist of what took place. I'm not going to give y'all all of the juicy details that was discussed with the People's Court earlier today on behalf of exonerating Grandmaster Jay. Again, everybody, the public was invited to attend, as well as Kentucky was also invited to attend. However, we got one more part that we're going to do in the event or for what is being planned on by the people, or I should say, not only the people, but the supporters of Grandmaster Jay, who have shown that they truly love this man, and they want to make sure that he is fully released from the custody of Kentucky. I'm not, like I said earlier, with dealing with the Grandmaster Jay supporters that I was in, and I was in conference with. I explained to them that I'm not going to say a whole lot about what the plans are or how the plans on getting there, because, like we have already stated before, we have given everybody the opportunity to be a part of what's going on behind the scenes, and that's where we're going to leave it. Now, I'm not going to be on here extremely long this evening. I'm not going to be on here extremely long. I just wanted to come and share with the general public as to what's going on behind the scenes by the true supporters. I'm not going to say that they are part of all of the supporters, but I'm just going to say the true supporters that I have been in conjunction with. So I can vouch for them. I can't vouch for anybody else, but I can vouch for the ones that is in the trenches trying to make everything and possibly work. Now, I will say this. We have talked about this in the board meeting today, that we are in need of 7 more signatures for Grandmaster Jay's release. Again, I'm going to say this. We are still looking for 7 more signatures for the affidavits of Grandmaster Jay's prison release. So far, Kentucky has already been served these documentation in order for this to start the procedure of. And that's all I'm going to say on that. Now, getting to the heart, like I said, I'm not going to be on extremely long, not this evening, because, like I said, I put in a lot of time. Me and the Queen Bees, as well as the supporters, we have put in a lot of time today, and we're at the point where we got to wrap things up. Now, we do have one more part to part three of the exoneration of Grandmaster Jay preparation. That will be done on November the 28th. That will be done on the 28th as far as what's going on behind the scenes. And again, we're going to truly invite everybody that is interested in coming on board with getting this man to be finally free. The votes have already been submitted. A lot of the votes have been submitted in reference to his freedom. And we're going to continue until we reach that number. And as far as I know, we only need 7 more votes and signatures to go in reference to that. And it's, like I said again, it's a lot of work. It's very strenuous per se, if I'm saying that correctly. And like I said again, if anybody was truly interested in knowing what's going on and what the people are doing behind the scenes, you are more than welcome to attend on the last part of our marathon that is going on with the true supporters of GMJ. Yes, I'm seeing in the chat room. Oh, and by the way, anybody that is interested in chopping it up for a little bit this evening, like I said, I'm not going to do a whole lot of time this evening. I just wanted to come on and share with the general public as to what took place for 8 hours today with working side by side with the supporters of Grandmaster Jay. And they are excited, and I am excited for them, for us to see start to seeing some results as far as his case. I'm not talking about his governmental case. We're nowhere. Let me say this, because I don't want it to be misunderstood or misled. We are not touching, and have we not touched anything in reference to the governmental courts of Grandmaster Jay. That is all on him and whatever else that he wants to do and how he wants to do it. We are playing absolutely no parts whatsoever. So I don't want anybody saying, "Oh, well, she's doing this. She said she wasn't going to have her hands in it." Well, I don't have my hands in it as far as governmental court goes. My hands is in arbitration mediation in reference to the other direction. And I'm going to break that down in just a little bit as to what all of this means and how it all is coming together on our end. See, sometimes if you, like I said, if you don't know what you are doing or what you are talking about, then your best bet is not to say anything at all. I tell people this all the time. You make a fool out yourself when you sit up and pretend like you know what you're talking about, when you know for a fact that this is not your lane that you need to be in. And if you're not in the right lane, then the best thing for you to do is to come in, sit down, shut up, listen, wait, look, and learn. And maybe you'll learn something that you never learned before. So, I'm getting, to be quite honest with you, I'm getting sick and tired of hearing all of this, all of these naysayers, all of these player haters, all of these people that seems to try to figure out what it is that the queen is doing. I'm going to tell y'all very politely, I'm not going to use a cuss word. I'm trying to be better than that. I'm just going to say, mind your own business. If you're not truly interested in what these other people are interested in doing, then just completely just shut up. Just shut up, mind your own business, and let it flow accordingly. Okay. So yes, I'm trying to turn over a new leaf. I'm trying not to get upset or, get into the potty mouth. I know, yes, I'm guilty. Yes, I'm very guilty of being a potty mouth. Yes, I am. But I am working on that because, me and the higher power, we're working on that. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm going to be perfect with not cussing, because I may feel like cussing one day. But today, I just don't feel like cussing because I'm too tired. But anyway, there are a lot of things that other Grandmaster Jay supporters is doing behind the scenes, and we're just going to leave it at that for now. I want to also comment on a lot of other things that I've been seeing in the media. Okay. I have been seeing a lot more, for some strange reason. I've been seeing a lot more of where they are saying that Grandmaster Jay is an agent. Okay, I want to clear that up really, really quick, because I want to give everybody the definition of an agent. I'm going to tell y'all what an agent is. An agent, first of all, and Grandmaster Jay doesn't even qualify to be an agent. He's not an agent. So let me tell you and explain to everybody how he is not an agent. The way an agent works, and the true definition of an agent, is a person who works in silence and use the code of silence in order to get something done. And from what I have seen over the last 3 years, Grandmaster Jay is not quiet whatsoever. Matter of fact, his mouth is almost bigger than mine. So I don't understand how people can feel that he is an agent. He is an agent of what? These people are bogusly saying that, well, he's an agent. Okay, well, if he's an agent, what type of agent is he? Can you be a little bit more specific? Because I'm getting sick and tired of seeing where these people are sitting up on their duff saying, oh, well, he's an agent, but here are my receipts. My receipts is my receipts is the Kentucky News. When the Kentucky News has been fraudulently giving false information about this man and what he is. Let me tell y'all something. What I know this to be true. On one perspective, Grandmaster Jay is a human being. Before he became black, before he became the malicious leader of the NFAC, he is a human being. Okay? I know that's hard. I know that's hard for some of y'all to swallow. Because it's something that you got to get used to. But he is a human being first. Before he was ever black, he is a human being. Now, on the other spectrum of this, I have also heard from some of these YouTube channels and all of this promotional things that's going on in reference to Grandmaster Jay, I have heard that they have labeled him as a political prisoner. Okay, let me correct you on that as well. He is a prisoner, but he's a prisoner. He is a slave prisoner. And why do I say that he is a slave prisoner? Is because it's the way that Kentucky has written all of his documentation up. They have, you see, if you don't understand, and this is where I come in at with understanding the language and the terminology that people use. Now, let's say for instance, you go to another country. Let's say you go to Mexico. Okay. I'm not going to Mexico without having a translator. I'm going to have somebody that's going to speak Spanish to me and tell me what the heck are these people saying to me so I can have a dialogue with them. I'm not just going to go to a country where I don't understand the language of what they're trying to say. Because as far as me going to another country, trying to speak somebody else's language and being on somebody else's turf, I'm not going to do. Okay. When I go to, if I ever should have to ever travel to another country such as Mexico, you can best believe the only thing I know how to say is no hablo español. That's what I know how to say. And I know how to say taco loco. I know how to say crazy taco and that I don't speak Spanish. So anything past those 2 points, then I'm going to get me a translator to translate for me so I can speak the language of that country or whatever. Now, in this situation, like I have stated to the supporters in the supporter group, this private group earlier, it's not that, and I want to continue to say that Grandmaster Jay is he's an exceptionally brilliant man. He knows a lot of things. He's very well diverse. He's very well educated. He knows his stuff in his lane. Now, he is not perfect. And this is where the confusion comes in at. He is not perfect when it comes to understanding the language of the courts. He doesn't understand that. See, when you are being put in a circumstance or a situation where you're not quite sure how to proceed, then you have to go and hire somebody else to say, hey, wait a minute, let me stop. Let me put my pride to the side. Let me put my pride to the side because I don't know what I'm walking into. If there is a dialogue, and I have stressed this time and time again, that the courts, and it's not just Kentucky courts, this is all courts that is held within the United States of America. All of these courts talk in code. I cannot stress that enough. And if you don't know how to break down their codes to understand what it is they're trying to say to you, then you're going to get lost in the forest. You're going to be, it's almost like you're walking through the forest and you don't understand the trees that you're being surrounded by. And I really, truly believe, and for the love of the Almighty on high, that yes, Grandmaster Jay is a brilliant man, and I will continue to give him the honor and the glory for the education and the knowledge that he has as a human being. But what I will not give him is he do not understand the codes of the courts and dealing with governmental codes and special way that they talk with each other. It's like a language. And it took me exactly 30 some years to learn what these people are saying in order to take what I've learned from what they have shown me to use it against them. Because that is your only way in line of defense. So tonight, I'm hoping that you have your paper and pen, because what we have discovered, and I'm not going to go over all of it, I'm just going to go over a little bit. And yes, I'm asking somebody to adjust my camera from back over there. So I'm not pointing at y'all, I'm pointing at the people behind this camera. Okay. As I was getting ready to say, we have discovered, and I have helped the supporters to discover that Kentucky is in for a lot of trouble. They are so knee deep in trouble with the matter of the way that they have done Grandmaster Jay's complete case, that it's going to take a lot of hard work for them to pull themselves up out of it. From what we have discovered behind the scenes that Kentucky is in for at least 172 charges. That wasn't a typo. For the ones that say what? Can you say that again? Yes, I said it and I'll say it again. Due to the fact that Kentucky has taken all of this time to put together these false charges and make up these false things from the time of June the 26th of 2020 all the way down to November the 9th, 2022. We have discovered that they could be looking at 172 different charges. And we're not going to rest until those charges has been applied. They thought that they could play the game, and we allowed them. And when I say we, I'm talking about the people. I'm not talking about me personally. Okay. So please don't say, listen to what she's saying. Please stop taking my words and making it to be something else that it's not. Now that, if you want to really piss me off, is when I say something and somebody goes and take what I say and be misinformed about what I said. So be very careful and be very mindful. If you don't understand something, then come back and say, wait a minute, can you repeat that? And I will be glad to repeat it so you can understand and we can be on the same wavelength. Now, yes, that's not a misprint. From the time that this whole ordeal of Grandmaster Jay started, which I said again, the starting date did not start when they originally picked him up, which was December the 2nd, which was his birthday in 2020. This originally started June of 26 of 2020. And we have already documented all of this stuff all the way up until November the 9th. And like I said again, there is 172 charges that Kentucky is going to be facing very, very soon. So with that being said, that's all we're going to leave you with as far as that goes. Now, I'm going to do my 2 cents. I'm going to do my 2 cents, and then I'm going to try to get my butt up out of here. I have dropped the link for anybody that is interested in coming on board to want to talk to me. We are using StreamYard until I can either get a new computer where I can go back to using my YouTube channel, or we might be on StreamYard for a little bit longer. But anyway, I want to make some announcements before I get out of here. Like I said, I'm not going to be long this evening, and I'm not going to be drawn out this evening. I've been doing a lot of work, period. Bottom line in the story. Now there is a YouTube channel by the name of TNT. Now, for the ones who don't know who TNT is, I'm going to give you a brief description. It is a young couple. It's a young couple that consists of a young lady by the name of Jazz, and a young man by the name of Mike. Now, in reference to, they did a video in reference to the sentencing of Grandmaster Jay that I need to put my 2 cents in on. Mike, okay, Grandmaster Jay obviously had given Mike permission to talk on his behalf to the general public, which is nothing. That's nothing wrong with that. We're not disputing that. But here is where the general public has had some concerns. First of all, Mike had read what he wanted the general public to know in reference to what Grandmaster Jay had said to him. But the thing is, as Mike was reading the information, he chose on his own accord to say, I'm not reading that, I'm not reading that, I'm not reading that, and I'm not reading that. Now, Mike pretty much left the whole audience in limbo. He left everybody confused. And so I needed to bring that up, and I needed to bring that out. I think I think he got a great way of speaking. Mike has his own little way of saying things, addressing things. I think from what I've seen, and people have asked me, what is my opinion of all of it? But I'll give you my opinion in a minute. But I want to specifically talk about the video that they've done in reference to the sentencing of Grandmaster Jay. When he said that, well, I'm not going to say this, I'm not going to say this, I'm not going to say. He read over it and then he skipped over it, which you're leaving people in limbo. You're making everybody be confused as to what is going on. There are some parts and some pieces missing. Now, here's the question that everybody has been asking me that I cannot answer. The only thing that I can do is get up here, and hopefully Mike of TNT will see this message, and maybe he'll make the adjustment for the general public, for all of us who are watching him in reference to his platform. He stated, he kept going over and over saying that he wasn't going to say this, he wasn't going to say that. Now, here's the question that is posing in everybody's mind, that only y'all have to direct that question towards Mike. I can't answer that because I wasn't there, and Grandmaster Jay never gave me any paperwork to read on his behalf. All I can say is, was the part that Mike skipped over, what that Grandmaster Jay had given him, was that part a part that he chose on his own to not read to the public, or was it something that Grandmaster Jay had said to him not to say to the public? So, if Mike is listening, Mike, we love you. I think you're doing a tremendous job with keeping the people informed about Grandmaster Jay. I feel like you guys are a young couple, and I know that you guys are new to this game, but you need to be in sync with the information that you're putting out. You can't just leave people in limbo as to trying to figure out what it is you're trying to say. We would all like, and I have to say this on behalf of the people that is also following Mike and Jazz. For the people that is also following Mike and Jazz, they're asking that question: what is the parts that you are leaving out? And did that part that you left out, was it from the request of Grandmaster Jay himself, or was that a part that you chose on your own not to read? So that's my input as far as that video was concerned. So for the people who was asking me about the decision that Mike decided not to read, or what was the information that he was supposed to read, I don't have a clue. Okay, so for all of you people that was wondering, I can't tell you because I wasn't there. It was on Grandmaster Jay had decided to use Mike in order for him to get that message out. And so all I can do is put it out there to ask for a revised version. Everybody is looking for a revised version in reference to that particular video. Okay. So if anybody is a follower of Jazz and Mike, please relay that message over to him. We don't mean no harm. We don't mean no disrespect to you. We just want to understand what's going on and what is it that Grandmaster Jay wants the general public to know in reference to his case or his cases or whatever it is that he is doing. Now, that is my input on that. Okay, moving on, because I got so much things on my mind right now. As far as their channel, now my 2 cents about people have asked me how I feel about other channels. I'm gonna be honest with you. I normally don't give my opinion, but due to the fact that there was a little incident with the whole trying to understand where he was going, I feel like they do too much. TNT does way too much talk with their chat room. They give too much attention to their chat room, and I don't, but to me, that's too much kid play. You need to get to the point of why you bringing us there. Why are you bringing us to watch you? People want to know. People don't want to have to come to your platform and try to figure out why they are there. You need to be. I believe as a young couple, they need to decipher as to what their niche is going to be. I think they need to sit down and another thing, they need to figure out who's going to do the driving. Because from what I've seen, from all of the versions that I have seen of their platform, uh, Jazz is more of a mom than she is of a wife or a girlfriend. We all looking at these individuals. She's telling him that he can't say this, he can't say that. Well, you can't do that, you can't do that. So it's more of a mom thing. It's unsure as to who's doing the driving on that platform. Now, people may talk about Morris TV. Don't get me wrong, Morris TV could drive anybody crazy. But I will say this: I'll give Morris TV a compliment. Morris TV has his content in order. I don't care if nobody and there's going to be times where Morris TV says things that I don't even like. But still in all, I cannot fault this man. The man knows his content. If you're going to be, and I'll say this not only for TNT or anybody that is going to be on a platform where you are engaging yourself with an audience, you need to be on spot. You need to be point on. You're doing too much engaging with chitter chat talk in the chat room. See, the chat room has its place. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the chat room is the people that come into the chat room is not important. They are very important, but they are important at sometime at the end of your presentation once you have gotten out the information that you are trying to give to your audience. Your audience is coming there to get your attention on whatever subject matter that you're going to discuss. If you're whether you're discussing how to bake cookies, then you need to be on point. You don't need to be sitting up there saying, "Hey girl, how you doing? And girl, do you remember the party we went to last night?" Come on now. I know good and hell well you didn't take all that time to sit up there and start chitter-chatting and talking about nothing. People's time, this is when you're in the broadcasting business, people's time is of essence. If they are so pleasant enough to come out and take their time to spend their time with you, I don't care who you are. You could be Mickey Mouse, you could be Daffy Duck, I don't care. Whoever you are, give them that time, dedicate your time in giving a reason why people are coming to your platform. Do not sit up there and, if your game is to play only music, then play only music. If you're promoting new artists, then promote new artists. But don't sit up there and and bring people onto your platform. And then the contents of your subject don't have anything about what you're actually talking about. How you going to sit up and talk about, well, I'm going to bake some cookies today. Okay, you're talking about baking cookies, and then all of a sudden your content is talking about walking the dog. You can't do that. Now, either this is going to be a business where you're taking this matter seriously, or this is going to be a hobby. And if it's going to be a hobby, then continue doing what you're doing. Continue to be goofing off and playing and talking about nothing and wasting people time for the reason why they're coming there to see you in the first place. I'm just talking real talk. I've been in this game for 40 some years. And I know the ins, the outs, the ups, the downs, the changes, the turnaround. Outside of being on a YouTube platform, I am building my brand of the Queen of Radio. I don't use YouTube as my form of building my brand. My brand is built outside of this platform, and I come back to YouTube to tell everybody about what is my progress. I tell everybody, I show everybody. So, you got to understand where things are supposed to move. You guys can never say that the Queen of Radio has gotten up here and I've said nothing but wasted, just filled the air with nothing. And I'm sitting up here talking about, oh, girl, did you go to the grocery store? And how many tomatoes did you pick up? What the hell does that got to do with the cost of tea in China? So my thing is, there are some YouTube channel holders out there that needs to find their niche. You need to find your niche. You need to know why people are spending their time to come watch you. That's just like when I have my band. When my band is on stage performing or opening up for Earth, Wind, and Fire or whomever else, they are coming to see the Sapphire Blue Notes or whatever group that they're coming to see. I'm not going to sit up there and have my band to get up on that stage and start talking to everybody in the audience. That's just not going to happen. So there's too much time being wasted in the chitter chatter in the chat rooms and this, that, and the third. Get to the point as to why we are sitting up here and why we need to be watching you. So with that being said, I hope that message has been transferred over. I don't mean no harm. I have the greatest respect for all newcomers that is new to this game, but you need to listen to the old heads that's been here a while. We old heads know what we're talking about, and don't get all caught up in your feelings when somebody tried to tell you something about that could help you in the long run. You need to know, why are you here? Are you here to make money? Are you here to make a difference? What exactly is your niche? What exactly, or what is it that you're trying to achieve with your audience? This is what needs to be established. So, Mike, if you are listening, please make a video in reference to what you took out, or you did it on purpose, or whatever you did, in reference to the message that you were given by Grandmaster Jay. Now that I said that little bit of a spiel, now I can move on to the next part of my topic and my contents of my information. In reference to the sentencing of Grandmaster Jay, there is a lot. There is a lot that needs to be said. Now, people have asked me in past videos, what do you mean when you say the 72 points of freedom? I'm going to give y'all a breakdown as to what I'm talking about and what I mean when I say that in the case of Grandmaster Jay, he has not, and I will say this again, he does not he has not used the 72 points of freedom that will make this man free. Now, I'm going to give y'all clarity, and I don't give a damn who people, if anybody that seems to think that I'm an agent, because agents only work in silence. They work in silence and they are on code with that silence. That is what a true agent is. An agent is not going to give any type of secrets about their plans or what they're trying to accomplish with that whatever agency that they are working for. To give you a prime example, when you go for a job, you go to an agency, maybe Kelly Service or some type of employment service, where they are bringing you in to match you up with somebody of your skill, of your caliber, and they match you up with a job that you are coming in there for. Now, they get a fee off of referring you to that job. That's called an employment agency. So it really depends on what type of agency that you are going for. Are you an FBI agent? Are you a CIA agent? What type of agency can be classified as an agent? So I want to say to the knuckleheads and all the squirrel nuts that is out there trying to say, oh, well, Grandmaster Jay, he is an agent. I don't ever want to hear that. I don't ever want to hear that again. And I'm going to tell you why. If I start to hear that again about Grandmaster Jay being an agent, this is what I'm going to collectively do. Okay? I'm going to collectively take your name and your channel, and you'll be put on a master list for a lawsuit because you are providing false information in reference to this man. This man is not an agent, and I don't care how many news report stories you have heard. That's just like I talked about that goofy pop-eyed woman who got that little red thing in the middle of her forehead that looked like a Hall's cough drop. Looked like a Cherry Hall's cough drop that she got stuck in the middle of her head. And she calls herself Queen Secure, who says that she got receipts about Grandmaster Jay being an agent. I made it very clear to her that she could be she could be liable for slander as well as defamation of this man's character. So for all the ones who have said, and this also includes Morris TV as well, because he has done a lot of videos over the last 2 years where he has listed Grandmaster Jay as an agent. That is going to stop. Okay. And if it don't stop, then you will be hearing a little bit more about what you're going to be liable for later. I don't want to hear no time for the rest of this year about how these selected people seem to think that this man is an agent. And another thing that I want to make clear, there is no way that government cannot make money off of Grandmaster Jay being an agent. Okay? They don't make money off of themselves. That's almost like, okay, put this into a scenario. That's like you had 5 kids, and you go and sell your 5 kids, knowing that your damn 5 kids ain't worth 2 hoops in a Cheerio hole. You cannot sell your kids because you're not going to get any money off of it. Okay? You're not going to get any money off of it. And that is the way that the government is. They cannot make any money off of having somebody as an agent. Okay? They don't make money off of their own. So this is the other reason why the foolishness about saying that Grandmaster Jay is an agent needs to stop. Because government goes through a lot of extreme to keep their people from being not put in jail, not to put them in jail. So I hope that there has been some clarity as to him not being an agent. Okay, the next thing on my agenda, yes, I see that. Okay, the next thing on my agenda as far as the sentencing goes in reference to Grandmaster Jay. I don't know if the parts that Mike had deleted or took out. I don't know if that's part of the part that doesn't make any sense. What I will say is this. What I can understand from what I've heard, and I have to piggyback off of that video. I have to piggyback off of that video. He stated that Jay, if I'm not mistaken, and I can be corrected on this, please, if I'm mistaken, then please correct me. I think I heard him say that each one of the, first of all, Grandmaster Jay has been charged with 8 counts of something. Okay. He was charged with 8 counts of something. All right. Now, the 8 counts that he was charged with came to a multiple figure of $250,000. Now, if you take $250,000 times 8, that comes to $2 million. So let me get this straight. Kentucky is basically saying that in order for Grandmaster Jay to walk or to get out of their prison, he has to come up with $2 million. This is how this is registering in my head from what I've heard from the video that TNT had done with Mike talking about what was read on the page. Now, if that is to be held to be true, then that means that Kentucky has openly confessed that they brought him as a slave. You're saying that in order for the slave to be released, it's got to be paid $2 million, or he's going to sit in jail for 7 years. Now, what that tells me, this is my own theory, and from my own observation, I'm not, maybe somebody else can also share with me, maybe that went over their head as well. But when somebody tells me that that is the deal on the table, let me stress this. Okay, you got $250,000 for each charge, mind you. And let me throw this out there. I don't care if it was 1 charge or 50 million charges. Kentucky has not proven their case. Okay, you cannot base anything upon hearsay. Hearsay is not ever and has never been accepted in what they would like to consider to be a court of law. Okay, so how is it, okay, maybe it's just me, how is it that it's a deal if it's at $250,000 times 8 equals $2 million? I'm very good with math. That's $2 million. So you mean to tell me that that is considered to be a deal, being in custody for 7 years and then still having to owe $2 million? Now, who is this a benefit for? Is this a benefit? Because you sure the hell can't say that this is a benefit for Grandmaster Jay, because if I heard this correctly, he said that if the $2 million is not paid, then he will be sitting in jail for 7 years and he'll see everybody 7 years. I'm figuring out, where the hell is the deal? Okay, that's very interesting. How in the hell are you going to look at this as being a deal when the only person that is benefiting from this is Kentucky? Kentucky, wait a minute. This is another part that I brought up to the supporters earlier today. I said, wait a minute. Hold on, player. Hold on. Wait, stop the presses. Back this mother completely up. Back it up. How in the world are you going to say, okay, you already got him in custody. Okay, you already got him in custody. Kentucky already has him in custody. But it's gonna, so you're gonna pay off. It's gonna take you 2 years to pay off $2 million in order for him to be set free. Now, maybe this is just me, y'all, but that's a part of the slave trade. Yeah, that's part of the slave trade. What they basically have openly confessed is that Grandmaster Jay is not a human being. He is a article of possession. He is a subject to. He is the code of slavery. He's not a political prisoner. That's not the right word to use, because political prisoner would mean that he was part of their governmental system. He was a worker of their government, and they put him in prison. He's not a political prisoner. What he is a possession, an object of slave. They found a very fancy way, and I challenge anybody to pull all of his paperwork. I challenge anybody. And I will even walk it through with you for you to see how Kentucky has listed him as a slave. And you mean to tell me nobody is getting upset about this? Y'all got me scratching my head. Nobody is getting upset. Not even, and see, this is what I was trying to tell the group earlier, the supporters earlier. I said that I'm willing to bet money. I'm willing to bet money that if I go through all of that paperwork that they have written up on Grandmaster Jay, I guarantee you they got the slave in there somewhere. I guarantee it. I'm willing to bet money on it. I'll bet money that paperwork is in there and is somewhere got a fancy way of saying slave. So you mean to tell me you are okay with being labeled as a slave? Okay, if that's what you want to do, hey, and see, I'm the type of person, and I've said this earlier to the group. I said, let me tell you something. I don't, maybe Grandmaster Jay has a problem with, the women helping him. I don't know what his issues were. I really don't. Maybe, but if it had been me, I'm gonna tell you something. I don't care if this had been an orangutan with a purple ass and orange flavored lips. If somebody is going to help me to get out of the mess that government tried to set you up in, I'm going to take all the help that I can get and not be funny about it. I don't care that you are a woman. I don't care if you're a man. I don't even give a damn if you're an orangutan. As long as you got the knowledge and the experience to help with the situation, then do what you do, boo. Let me give you my pen for you to use to get whatever it is that you need to get. And I said this also earlier. I said that I feel like I said, Grandmaster Jay is a brilliant, brilliant person. He is a brilliant soul. And God bless him for having such a brilliant mind of logical, of thinking on a lot of different things. But when it comes to understanding the language and the terminology that the courts use, he don't know. And if you don't know, then don't be afraid to say, I don't know. But I'm not going to stop myself from learning to find out what it is I need to know. It just doesn't add up. So how is it that is a deal? Somebody needs to, can somebody come in and explain that to me? How is it a deal when the only people that's getting ahead is Kentucky? Kentucky, you mean to tell me that Kentucky is not? And see, here's another thing that I pointed out. Kentucky is not just going to make $2 million, they're going to make $4 million. You know why? Because they kept doing a baiting and switching with the charges. Okay? If y'all remember, if y'all had been paying very, very close attention, Kentucky had one set of charges that they were applying towards him, and then they switched it up and turned it into something else. So now he's not only been charged with the first set of charges that he was applied to, but now they done brought some extra stuff in. So now they got him listed under two different sets of charges on two different sets of accounts where they get to make double the money. So again, I must say, who is this a benefit for? Since that's the way that cookie wants to crumble, you know, I would think that a lot of people would be a lot more upset at this baiting and switching that Kentucky is getting away. Well, no, I'll say trying to get away with. They haven't gotten away with it. They think they've gotten away with it, but there are a lot of different organizations and people on the back end that's doing their own thing that's going to help bring this whole thing together. And like I stated before, I'm not going to give I'm not going to give their secrets away. But I will continue to say that Kentucky, you are in for a lot of charges. And I hope you guys are getting yourself ready to feel this wrath that's getting ready to come your way. And that's all I'm going to say in reference to that. But as far as the sentencing go, that doesn't add up because you just openly confess. You just put an innocent man in jail for what? Now you're going to say, wait a minute, let me get this straight. Let me get this straight. Now you're going to say, see, first you said it was Kentucky I'm talking about. First, Kentucky said that it was endangerment. Okay. Then they flipped the script. And then now they're saying, well, it's because he pointed a gun. Okay. Really? That's what you're going to go on, is that he pointed a gun? Okay, what about the elements? And I'm not going to give away the secrets to this, but there is a lot of components. I'm just going to say this. There are a lot of components that is missing in this story. Now, to answer everybody's question about what makes up the blueprint for 72 points of freedom, there are 4 of them. And I'm going to name them to you if you are interested in writing them down. The first one is called the foundation. It's called the foundational evidence. What exactly is a foundation? I want y'all to look at it from this perspective. Let's say, for instance, you're getting ready to build a house. You're going to need to put that house on a what? You're going to need to put that house on a foundation, right? Because why would you be concerned about the curtains and the windows and the carpet when the house is not even built? You got to have a foundation of evidence. It's called foundational evidence. It's called FE for anybody that's interested in learning today or interested in my jewels that I'm dropping. In order for there to be 72 points of freedom for Grandmaster Jay or any person that is in what I like to call a pickle, you need to have a foundational set of evidence where it's your starting point. Now, what exactly is a foundational evidence? Foundational evidence is when you are able to answer the who, the what, the when, the where, and the how. Who was involved? When did it happen? What time? Where did it take place at? Who caused it to go into a disastrous mode? All of these questions need to be investigated in order to make up the foundational evidence. The second thing on the list that you need to have is what you call tangible evidence. You know, and in Grandmaster Jay's case, the most tangible evidence that they needed to have would have been documentation. Documentation and his gun. Those were the only two things that was important for September the 4th. Those were the only two. And the reason why I say this, and I'm gonna break it down, I'm gonna break it down even further for you guys. Okay. The evidence, tangible evidence in the Grandmaster Jay case needed to have been his gun, and it needed to be affidavits that was filed. First of all, the affidavits that was filed way back in the beginning of his case was originally filed by me. I was the one, and I'm not trying to get a pat on the back. I don't really give a damn. What I'm saying this for a reason, to help everybody to understand what took place along the case of Grandmaster Jay's case from the foundational point. We got to go back to the foundation of the case. So I'm taking everybody back to the foundation of Grandmaster Jay's case. Grandmaster Jay's case would have never gone nowhere if all of the affidavits and the blueprints had stayed in place. They were not stayed in place. So now we got to hold Kentucky liable for the lying and the stealing of those documentation. So with the foundation, I'm saying this to say this. That's part of the foundation. That is part of the 72 points of freedom that is also to be used as a code. You got to answer the who, what, the when, where, and how for the foundation. Then the second part, again, is the tangible evidence that needed to be in place. Okay, when I say documentation, you see, Kentucky does not have the proper receipts for every single solitary thing that they have done since June 26th of 2020. Because y'all must have forgotten when I expressed to you or to the general public that they had already indicted him June 26th with the help and the care of CNN News. They had already had it planned. So September the 4th never came. But Grandmaster Jay's indictment was already in place the first time. Y'all remember this. I told y'all this on other past videos. I told you this. So by the time September came around, now you got a whole nother set of evidence that need to come into play. See, they did not provide evidence to show that anybody was injured. Because I told you again, wanton endangerment or means that somebody had passed away or somebody was injured. Where's that documentation for that? They needed that in order to prove their case. Where was it? And why was my paperwork tampered with? Why was my paperwork that I had kept him from even going in that direction, why was that tampered with? They got to answer for this. They got to come up with a logical answer as to what took place because they were not given permission to proceed with any trials in reference to using this man's name. Now, after that was done, they need to explain how their charges got so botched up. After they could not prove that there was any endangerment, how is it that you're going to now prove that there was a gun and a flashlight? Are you sure about that? I'm not going to tell y'all what evidence I have personally found, because if y'all were interested in that, you would have had your ass in the session earlier with the other supporters of Grandmaster Jay. We are on a live for the general public. And I told the supporters earlier I was only going to do so much. I'm not going to give away the jewels, because the real jewels, what I'm going to do is dance around the jewels and just hint on the jewels. I'm going to be talking as if I'm talking in a code. Because if you were truly, for all the ones that is supposed to be the true supporters of Grandmaster Jay, you would have had yourself in the building to actually hear and know what type of evidence and what is being done behind the scenes in order to get this man free. So, but anyway, moving on. So I'm going to continue to dance around it. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Like I stated before, the paperwork and his gun would have been the two tangible items that would have been needed in order to be a part of the 72 points of freedom for him. All of that needed to be, again, you go back to the who, what, when, where, how, and why needed to be done. It wasn't done. The third thing is circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence. What I mean by that is, let's say, for instance, you got apples and you got apples. Okay, now apples and apples is on the same wavelength, right? But when you start talking about apples and oranges, they're still on the same wavelength, but they're two different fruits. That's called circumstantial evidence. And let me be a little bit more specific. Another way that could have been used to free Grandmaster Jay, and these are some of the freebies that I'm gonna give you this evening. I'm not gonna give you the best of the crop, but I'm gonna give you a couple of freebies to go to take and say, Now, they stated, Kentucky stated that Grandmaster Jay was pointing a gun. That's correct, right? Okay, he pointed a gun. Are you sure that there was somebody up on that roof at the time that that gun was found? At the time of the gun, are you absolutely sure? I'm not going to tell you whether it's true or false. I'm going to ask you, are you sure? Now, here comes some circumstantial evidence that could have been used in his favor. The men that were standing around Grandmaster Jay on that picture, y'all know that? Y'all remember that Photoshop picture that they did where he was standing, where the gun was standing straight up, and then the second photo, it was leaning over to the left. Y'all remember that photo? Okay. Now, if Master Jay, now they also stated in that same sentence that Grandmaster Jay was resisting arrest. It don't look like he's resisting arrest in that photo. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I need new glasses, because I don't see in that photo that he was resisting arrest. And matter of fact, if he wait, first of all, let's go back, y'all. And I told you, this is part of the foundation of his case. This is still part of the foundation. Now, they stated that Grandmaster Jay had resisted arrest. Are you talking about he resisted arrest at his house when y'all marched into his house, where y'all claim that Grandmaster Jay was intoxicated? And I find now if y'all had said, now wait a minute, hold on. If y'all had said that Grandmaster Jay was smoking a blunt or smoking a joint, okay, I might could go with that one. But to say that he was alcoholic and that he's completely out of his mind, I can't go with that one. Because see, even me would say that that's a bone-faced lie. Because I can't see Grandmaster Jay being an alcoholic. I just don't see that. I'm sorry. Y'all can say a lot of things about this man, but one thing I cannot say, he does not strike me as an alcoholic that y'all portrayed him to be. You stated that Kentucky, I'm talking about Kentucky now, Kentucky stated that he was stone cold out of his mind, drunk. Drunk? Drunk. So that means that you are not capable of comprehending what somebody is saying. So you mean to tell me y'all bolted into this man's house, he was drunk, but you somehow you did a bait and switch, because according to the way that Kentucky had worded it, they said in their own words that Grandmaster Jay had resisted arrest. He resisted arrest? Okay, if he resisted arrest, how in the hell were you able to get a picture of that? That's a question that you're gonna have to answer, because that didn't look like a picture where he was being arrested. That looked like a picture where he was adjusting a flashlight on his gun. And we have already did the measurements to that building. Measurements of the building is already done. There's no physical way for a person to look up on that building and be able to aim at anybody. There's no physical way. And what we have already done, we've had somebody around the height of Grandmaster Jay. We've already had them to go out there to Louisville on the spot where they think he was standing at the time of the day that he thought he was standing. See, what you're going to have to do, and what the People's Court is willing to do, we're going to do a whole entire reenactment of every single solitary thing that Grandmaster Jay had gone through since June 26th of 2020. We're going to do, we some of us have already done a reenactment. We've done a reenactment. Matter of fact, we have also taken the measurements of the building. We've taken the measurements of the building. We've also taken the time cards of the individuals that claimed that they were up on the roof. That's the reason why we say, are you sure that you can go with that? Are you sure? Are you absolutely sure? Because from what we have found, you've been telling a damn lie. Kentucky, you've been lying about every single solitary thing from day one. And the truth is not in you. We already know that. But let me continue on with this circumstantial evidence that should have been in place. For the people, for the men, and I'm only talking about the men that were standing directly around Grandmaster Jay in that picture. I'm not talking about the other NFAC members that was part of the march. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the actual people that were surrounding Grandmaster Jay on September the 4th when all of the sets of pictures was taken. Now, they are the ones that would have been the master key to getting Grandmaster Jay free. And you know how they would have been the master key to getting him free? Because their written testimony under a sworn affidavit, not a petition. Let me say this again so y'all can fully understand where I'm going with this. Petitions does not do absolutely jack doo-doo. A petition does absolutely nothing but get tossed in the damn garbage can because you are asking permission. Let me say this again. Petitions is asking for permission to do something. You're asking your slave master, can you do something? That's what you're asking. It's almost like, can I take 2 steps? What the hell? That's almost like you're asking, can I get permission to go to the bathroom? Why the hell would you ask somebody, could you go to the bathroom? Just go. Why would you need to ask somebody that's asinine? Why would you ask somebody that, oh, excuse me, let me make a call to you because I need your permission to do something. So I got to ask you permission. Can I go to the bathroom? Does that make sense? Well, that's the same effect as a petition. Petitions are asking government to do something. They're asking for permission to do something that's asinine. You wouldn't ask the government to allow you to go to the bathroom. So why the hell would you ask them to set this man free when he has not committed any crimes? That makes no sense. What you need to do is put a affidavit in, because an affidavit is almost like slamming the government against the wall. See, once you slam them against the wall with the pen and the paper, they can't go nowhere. It's almost like you got them at gunpoint, but you're not using a real gun. You're using the power of the pen. When you put in an affidavit, is not asking permission to do nothing. What an affidavit is saying, I demand you as I stand before you to get this man out of your custody. And you only got 30 days to answer. That's what an affidavit, it demands. It doesn't ask. I'm telling you, government, Kentucky, or whoever you're defending, I'm demanding that you release this man. I'm not asking you this, that, or the third. I'm not asking you why. I'm telling you that I am your employer and you are the servant. We got to know, when you're dealing with government, you got to know who you are. You got to know where you stand. You don't come to them and say, well, I don't really know. Can you ask the judge? Can you ask so-and-so? Can I get permission to do something? Hell no. You're not asking the permission to do nothing. You are making your demands and not being afraid to step up and say, I am the voice of the people. And what they don't want you to know is your voice overrules any judge in any courtroom. Oh, you didn't know that? Don't you know your voice, as the power of the people, makes the final decision to any type of given case, especially when there is no tangible, and in Grandmaster Jay's case, there's no tangible evidence to show that he has done anything wrong. Matter of fact, we went over this today. Matter of fact, Kentucky had invited Grandmaster Jay to Kentucky, not one time, but 3 times. Grandmaster Jay was invited to go to Louisville, Kentucky, where they gladly set him up. Oh, they set him up. We got the paperwork and the route and the thing to prove that. There's no doubt in our mind that he was set up. There's no doubt in mind, because Kentucky had already stated with CNN that they had already indicted Grandmaster Jay on June the 26th of 2020. And if I'm not mistaken, September is what, 2 to 3 months after June? How you going, wait a minute, player. How you going to indict somebody 2 months that hasn't even came yet? Wow, that's deep, player. That's real deep. I don't know how y'all came up with that one, but y'all had already, and here's another thing that everybody don't know. CNN, see, I'm giving y'all the ones that I can give y'all, but I still got a lot more. See, I got a bag of evidence over here. I got a bag of evidence over here that's going to be used at a later date. But I can give y'all some of the free jewels. Okay? Don't get me wrong. I can give y'all some of the free jewels. What y'all forgot that I told y'all in a past video, I told y'all about that special button. Don't you know that there is a special button that that the prosecutor of Grandmaster Jay's case pushes in their office to inform CNN that they need to come there in order to do a story about the premeditated indictment. They push that button. There's a private button in that office. Oh, I told y'all, I'm nosy as hell. I find out my stuff. I'm gonna get mine. Y'all, for all they know, I could have been in. For all they know, I could have been in Louisville maybe 50 damn times, and been there and been gone. Me, Sheba, and the Queen Bees look like you can't play a player, can you, player? You see, Louisville seemed to think that they had one, and like I said earlier, I may have been born. Yes, I will admit. I was born at night. I was born at 6:06 p.m. in the 1960s. Somewhere in the 1960s. Yeah. And I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night. You can't outplay a player that put the scripts in the player handbook. Holler when you feel me. I put some of the scriptures in the player handbook from these OGs. You OGs better stand up, because y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know about that player handbook. Hell, I put some of them scriptures in that player handbook. That handbook is going to go down in history. Hell, Grandmaster Jay has put some of that shit in the player handbook. He's an OG too. Don't get it twisted. He's an OG. We are all in the OG classification. Yes, we are up there. We know all about that, boo. Hell, we talk most of y'all. Y'all are following our lead. We ain't following yours. We done been what some of these young people call themselves doing. We done already done and did it even better. I keep telling you, we put some of them scriptures in that book. That book didn't come back by itself. So, as I was saying, you cannot outsmart the original player. You can't outsmart the original player. Because we put that in that game book. Yeah, I know Grandmaster Jay got his couple of chapters in there too. Don't get it twisted. That brother don't look that good for nothing. Okay? But anyway, they have taken baiting and switching. Kentucky, you have done a lot of tampering with evidence. You have done a lot with hearsay. You have done a lot with fraud in reference to the Grandmaster Jay case. Matter of fact, as we are compiling this information together, we found out that you are liable for at least 172 charges. And don't you remember? And this is another little secret that I'm gonna drop on y'all as a jewel. This one is free too. I can't give y'all all the jewels, but I'm gonna give y'all a couple of free ones for y'all to hold on to. Because like we already know, Grandmaster Jay is not going to spend too much more time there. I can't tell you what's going on behind the scenes, but I'm just going to say he won't be there too much longer. Okay? Because there was a contract that everybody don't know about that I'm going to share with you. There was a contract that was drawn up back in 2020 that told Kentucky if they wasn't going to drop this mess and leave it alone, that Daniel Nelly Daniel Nelly would be the first to have to serve upon 120 years in their federal prison. Hello, whoop whoop, get it. And guess what? It was already signed. Mm-hmm. How you like me now, boo? How you like me now? Y'all remember? See, Daniel Nelly, do you remember that contract? You remember that contract that came from this state that I'm in? Doesn't matter. Do you remember? Well, those pages is going to come back to bite you, son. We're going to do some roasting and some toasting. That's why I'm happy today. So when somebody comes to me and tell me, oh, y'all heard the news, Grandmaster Jay's sentencing is 7 years, and that's the best deal that they put on the table. Really? That's what you call a deal? Wow, boo. Look like to me, y'all need to go back to the drawing board, because that's not a deal that's beneficial for him. That's a deal beneficial for Kentucky if we leave that in place. If it's being left in place. So let me look at my notes. It seems very quiet around here. Everybody's where the hell is everybody? Okay, if you are out in the trenches and you would like to come on in and chop it up with us, before I get out of here, I have dropped the link if anybody wants to come on. But I want to make sure that I have everything in point. The other two things that I forgot to mention as points of freedom, that is, the other two things that is points of freedom is witnesses can outrank the judge's decision at any given time with a signed sworn affidavit. Now, I told you earlier, if Grandmaster Jay had taken those men that were circling him in that picture, don't you know that's your evidence? That is the key. That's part of your key to his freedom. Why didn't they have those men? I'm talking about the men that were circling around Grandmaster Jay. I ain't talking about the others. If Grandmaster Jay had those gentlemen to vouch for him with the power of the pen, that would have been another key that he could have used to keep himself out of jail. Why didn't he use those people that were surrounding him? They were there. They were the witnesses that would have seen everything that was going on for that day. Why didn't they get their report and put it under a sworn affidavit as to what they saw? That's a key that would have been a very, very positive key. See, all of these petitions, that don't mean a hill of beans. Petitions, like I stated before, that's asking for permission for something. But if Grandmaster Jay would have had another key in his freedom door, if he had gotten an affidavit of the men or women, I don't know if it was men or women, but if y'all look on the picture, it appears to be men. Now, I could be wrong, but some people have long hair or whatever, and you can't really tell because of the distance. But whoever was there around him held the key to his partial freedom. If they had stepped up and said, wait a minute, hold on, player. At no point in time did Grandmaster Jay avoid, he was never approached about being arrested. He was never approached about, because y'all made the false statement that saying that he refuses to be arrested. Then you said he was intoxicated. So which one is it? Because you're not going to get me to believe that Grandmaster Jay showed up in Louisville drunk. First of all, he doesn't appear to be an alcoholic. And second of all, I don't think he would have mixed business with pleasure. And when I say business with pleasure, I'm talking about him smoking a joint. I don't see that. I think Grandmaster Jay is very smart enough and intelligent enough to know he needs to smoke his joint at another point in time when he is not with his NFAC group. I think he got enough sense to know that. I got to give, I take my hat, I say again, I take my hat off to this brother, because nobody can orchestrate and do what he has done with the masses of the black men and bringing these black men and women together to fight for a cause of standing up for our people. It wasn't just standing up for Breonna Taylor. I want that to be clear. We want that to be clear. It was not just for Breonna Taylor. It was for the right and the movement of all people, of all black melanated people. That's what he was standing up for. Now, if I'm wrong, then he will be the one to correct me. If I'm wrong, let it be him to correct me, not nobody else. But his key, part of his freedom would have been to have served upon that court and that prosecutor, not talking about, oh, well, we're gonna send this to the judge. No, you don't send that to the judge, because the judge is nothing but a mediator. The judge is just a person who has to mediate between the parties. If he had these witnesses, his witnesses, and what I say circumstantial evidence of witnesses, was the men and women that were standing directly around him in that photograph. Only Grandmaster Jay knows who those people are. I don't know who those men are. You don't know who those men were. But the men standing there right by Grandmaster Jay when he had the gun, they can verify and testify that he was not pointing at anybody. Because, let me tell you something. Common sense. Now, here's where common sense comes into play. If Grandmaster Jay was pointing at anybody, first of all, it was out of his view, because we had already measured the building. There's no way that he could see what's over the top of that building. It's no way. It's not even humanly possible. Even a man that is 6 feet, I believe Grandmaster Jay is what, 5'11"? Okay, if he's 5'11", even a 6 foot, a 6 foot man or a 6'2" man could not see over that building. It's not humanly possible. And why that wasn't documented in an affidavit as tangible evidence, I'll never know. But anyway, the men that were standing around Grandmaster Jay can tell you where those people were in their visual sight. They could have told him, they could have did their affidavit of truth to say, no, that's incorrect. Because we were standing right next to Grandmaster Jay, and Grandmaster Jay never said to us that he felt that there was somebody up on that roof, or he felt that he was in danger. And they could also attest to the whereabouts of those officers. Okay? He would have needed to get a full description of those officers that was present that claimed that they were in danger. See, you can't step on a person's foot and then holler out 26 years later, because then it's not even relevant. Okay, wait a minute, let me get this straight now. I stepped on your foot in 1960, but you decided that you're going to cry that it pained for you in 2020. Go to hell. Because that doesn't make no sense whatsoever. You cannot step on a person's foot and then cry about it 20 years later and talk about out. What type of damn blood do you have circulating in your body to where your ass is so slow to where you can't determine if somebody stepped on your foot or not? Stop the cap. stop the cap. So they would have been excellent if Jay could have gotten those men or women that were standing around him to give an affidavit of testimony. He never would have seen the inside in another way, and I do say another way, of his tools of freedom. That would have been another way. That just would have been another key for them to keep him out of that jail system. Now, another thing I want to share with y'all, and I'm going to give y'all one of Kentucky's codes. This is a code that was part of them collecting J. 04508. I'm going to say it again. 04508. That is the code that was used in order to lock Jay up. That nobody paid any attention to. Hold on, got to get some water. I just want y'all to hold on to that code. And I'll give you more details as to what it belongs to at a later date. Now, getting back to this $250,000, you see, Kentucky cannot prove anything. They can't prove diddly squat. And I've always said, stop crawling in bed with these people, because let me tell you what happened. This thing started as being a lizard. Grandmaster Jay crawled in bed with the governmental lizard at point A. B and C, for some strange reason, B and C disappeared. And then the next thing, by the time you got to letter D, it became a snake that he was in bed with. Now, you got to figure, what the hell happened to B and C? How did you go from being a lizard to being a snake? And how that happened is by people not paying attention to what you should have been paying attention to. I told you from the very beginning, if you don't understand the codes, then stop trying to figure out how they are indicting you, arresting you. Stop trying to do it. Stop trying to figure it out. Why don't you get someone, and I'm not talking about attorneys. I'm not talking about attorneys. Because attorneys, believe it or not, attorneys is hired to protect government. They're not hired to defend you. That's not part of the deal. See, when they go into their court, they got to get that 100% money has to be split up. 50% goes to the court, 25% goes to the defendant, and 25% goes to the plaintiff. Oh, that's about that money that y'all don't know about that goes on behind the scenes. Don't worry about that. Anyway, oh yeah, that was another jewel, but you can put that on the back burner. What I'm basically trying to say is that they did a lot of baiting and switching. Kentucky did a lot of baiting and switching. And I want y'all to hold on to that code that I gave y'all, because that it's linked to something that I will share with you guys at a later date. I'm not going to share it with you now because it's still part of that tools of freedom and 72 points of freedom that Grandmaster Jay has still yet to use. And if y'all also remember, in a lot of Grandmaster Jay's videos, he said, we're not playing checkers. We're playing chess. So, if you're playing chess, who the hell is the queen on the board? I just want to know, who's the queen? Because don't tell me that that it's your squirrel squad Y'all know who I'm talking about when I say the Squirrel Squad. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to even get into the details, but y'all know who I'm talking about when I talk about the Squirrel Squad. You know, that goofy one that got that big old bonnet on her damn head that's going left. Y'all know who I'm talking about. And doing strange shit. You know, flying across country and putting herself in danger. Yeah, that's part of that whole Squirrel Squad. And crying that she's in an area that nobody knows her. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know, that's the type of person, and this came to my head. That's the type of person, and we all have witnessed this type of person in the past. Y'all remember, and I'm talking to my old heads now. I'm talking to the old heads. Y'all remember back in the day when we were called to go to a funeral of our loved ones, and the loved ones, you know, we go to that funeral, and there's always some fool. There's always one in the bunch that's got to act a fool. And when I say act a fool, I'm talking about there's always one in the bunch that's going to snap the body up out of the casket. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Everybody got an Aunt Betty. Everybody got that Aunt Betty or that Uncle George. You know they're going to go to every single solitary funeral and pull the body up out of the casket, and they're going to say they didn't understand what was the problem. See, that person reminds me of that person at that funeral. I just know that person is going to, you're going to invite that person to a funeral, and I swear on mac and cheese, she gonna pull that body up out the casket. She gonna pull that body up out that casket. I'm trying to tell you. You know, damn fools do dumbass things. They just do dumbass things. You're gonna go cross country for a person that can't see you. They can't see you because of their circumstances, because they're locked up. But you're gonna go cross country, and you're gonna do your shimmy and shake to the people on the plane. and then you don't understand why they're looking at you like a damn fool. See, that's that type of person. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all know how to read between the lines. That's the type of person that would make a complete ass out of themselves and then want to play victim, all in the same walk. Why the hell would you go across? First of all, you're going, and then you're wearing stuff that can be defensive to people that you come in contact with. You don't know if people are accepting the NFAC or the Black Panthers or anything else that they wear, or the gun club. You may have a shirt on that says gun club. You don't know if you're traveling into an area where that is acceptable by them. And then you're going by yourself. Y'all help me to make sense out of that. And don't tell me that that's not part of that Squirrel Squad. See, Squirrel Squads can't bust a nut in somebody else's wet dream. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Y'all know who I'm talking about. And we're just gonna leave it at that. Okay? You know, the only thing that we can do for those types of people is to pray for them. Say, Lord, have mercy. Lord, have mercy. Give me strength, Jesus. Give that person some strength. Maybe that person will get some sense in their heads and stop doing foolish shit. Ooh, I did cuss, didn't I? Okay, well, you know, just mark it down. Anyway, I'm going to get ready to get on out of here. I think I've made my point of this evening's program. You know, at this point, Kentucky needs to put out an all points bulletin. You need to put out an all point bulletin to find Roger Rabbit. You need to put out a point bulletin to find Scooby-Doo, Bugs Bunny, and Santa Claus. because that's about as real as your fictional case is in reference to Grandmaster Jay. That's about how real it is. But we got a cure for it. We got a cure for it. We're not gonna trip. I'm not gonna trip. And the people that's been working behind the scenes as the original or some of the continued supporters of Grandmaster Jay, they are in silence. They are working in silence. From what I'm gathering, what I've seen, they're working in silence. They're not saying a word. They're not telling anything. I'm not telling anything. So that way you don't have to worry about going back saying, "Oh, did y'all hear what she said? She told us that she did this, that, and the third." No, I didn't. Now put that where you want to. I haven't said a word. I haven't said about what's going on. I haven't said what's going to be done. I'm just going to say that everybody is doing what they need to do in order for Grandmaster Jay to be finally helped. That is my for this evening. And I'm coming up on 2 hours. So I want to thank y'all. I want to thank y'all for joining me this evening. I thought I would have been done within a half hour, but I guess as I got the information and I kept going with the information, it kept rolling off of me. So as long as everybody is learning something and understanding where everything is, that's all that matters. To you, she is in the chat room, and she's there all with her lonesome self. To you, I don't think anybody was bold enough to come on to the platform. They are having too much fun in the trenches this evening. And I appreciate you guys coming wherever you're coming from, whether you are coming from YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you're coming in. I want to say thank you for joining me this evening. And thank you to you. She says, hello, family. She wants y'all to say, for the ones who cannot see the chat room, she says, hello, family, free Grandmaster Jay. And I truly agree with you. She also says, we truly love Grandmaster Jay. But how is his dog doing? Okay, well, Grandmaster Jay would have to answer that for himself about what he did with his dog. But I can tell you, as far as Sheba goes, and I want to clear that up too. Sheba is not Grandmaster Jay's dog. And I don't care how many times I have said this. Sheba is not Grandmaster Jay's dog. Let me set the record straight, and let me set the record straight right now. Sheba, and I got to say this a third time, Sheba is not Grandmaster Jay's dog. Grandmaster Jay had a boy dog, and Sheba is a girl dog. Please know the difference. And what Grandmaster Jay did with his dog, I don't really know. So when he gets home, or whenever he gets out, maybe he can explain to everybody what happened to his beautiful Doberman that he had, which was a boy Doberman. Grandmaster Jay's dog is a boy Doberman, and Sheba is a female. Please know the difference. Now, maybe, I don't know, maybe we can put Sheba and Grandmaster Jay's dog together and they have some Sheba Jay puppies or something. I don't really know. But I do know that these are two different dogs, and people need to stop saying that Sheba is Grandmaster Jay's dog, because that is so not the truth. But Sheba is very much aware of the code for Jay. She was trained in reference to the code for Jay. So, but they are still two different dogs, and I hope everybody will understand that and don't go out there saying that Grandmaster Jay's dog is Sheba, or Sheba is the dog that Grandmaster Jay had with him, because that is not the truth. Grandmaster Jay has not even met Sheba yet. So I know that's not the truth. So we need to clear that up for the record. Anyway, does anybody have any questions, comments that they would like to add to this before I hear? I got to play me some music here. What was, I forgot the name of that song. Oh, wait a minute. Let me some music real quick. I don't know if y'all can see this on my screen, but I got a song. Oh, there. Well, yeah, there it is. I'm going to bring up the song before again. Again, is there any questions, comments, or concerns before I get out of here? Before I play the closing song, and we will see you again. Oh, and next week is Thanksgiving week, so we got to say Happy Thanksgiving to all of the people. That we want you guys to be safe. Don't eat too much of whatever it is that you're going to be eating. In my household, we're not having turkey. We're roasting ducks around here. We're doing ducks and we're doing chicken, and we got a lot more sides that's going on. In my phone is blowing up for people wanting to know what else I'm going to put with it. But we're definitely having duck and dressing. And you know how we do. We got to have the candy yams and the potato salad and all of that other stuff, the greens, the cornbread, all of that will be there. So next week is Thanksgiving week, and we probably will not be back on until Sunday. Yeah, we won't be back on until, wait a minute, we got this Sunday, right? I don't know if I got a show. I don't know if I got a video scheduled for this Sunday. I guess I'll have to check. Because I can't keep up, I can't keep up with all of my shows. Y'all, sometimes y'all have to remind me. I get people email, are you going to come on tonight or not? So I don't really know. All I know is that Thanksgiving is next week, and I know that we are scheduled for the 29th, but I will have to check to see if I have any other programs that I will be doing prior to that. Other than that, I want everybody to be safe and don't eat too much. And if you haven't caught any of my past videos that I have done, maybe that will be the time for all the newcomers to go back into my archives of videos and check me out, and bring your paper and pen, because I'm pretty sure I've dropped a lot of jewels. But until then, folks, I'm going to go ahead and play my exit music. I bid you all peace, love, and double deuces. Much love to you all, and I'll be seeing you over the top. And this is the Queen of Radio, and also the creator of the Queen Bees. And I'll be seeing you very, very soon. Premiumbeat.com.
Premiumbeat.com. Premiumbeat.com. Premiumbeat.com.